What's going on, guys? All right, back, and we are going to get straight into this. This is a Lake Lanier fishing report. The fishing out there has been kind of hit or miss for some people. For some it's hit, for some it might be a miss. But let's see if we can kind of eliminate some of that questioning that's going on out there. So right now, for me, I'm able to find those fish shallow. You can find those fish on rocks, um, some other kind of structure, maybe brush piles and things like that. But you just have to get out there with your electronics and scan around. If you're going to fish shallow, what I would say is target the rocks. If you are going to fish offshore, then of course everybody is out there talking about ditches. You know what I'm saying? Out there talking about ditch fishing. So if you guys aren't familiar with that, maybe I can get into the details of that a little later as far as what to target, as far as how to go out there and locate and find those ditches. But for right now, I want to just kind of get into the baits and show you guys a clip of me out there on the water, fishing offshore, and what type of caliber of fish you can catch. So let's just go ahead and get right into that real quick. So let me just share my screen. Just bear with me real quick, guys. And let's just go ahead and take a look and see what type of action is going on out here offshore. So just kind of walking you guys through this. I'm out here. I found some fish right under the boat. I have them on the drop shot. And if you saw the bend in that pole, what was happening is the fish, some of them are down there moving around kind of fast, but for the most part, they seem kind of lethargic. The water temp, I believe it was around 70 degrees or so, guys. Don't quote me on that. But whenever the fish basically took that bait, it just kind of took it and just stayed there. It wasn't until I started trying to apply a little bit of pressure to the pole that I realized the fish was on there. But it had just taken it. And going back and watching this video, you can actually see when that fish had picked it up. But this is just a drop shot, guys. I am probably in about 40 to 50 feet of water right here. Let's go ahead and just listen in to see what I'm saying on here. Oh, there we go. 8-pound line, guys. All right, there you go, guys. That is a nice one out there fishing offshore ditches, just scanning around, finding bait fish. And actually, I was able to catch some of those fish without even finding bait around. They're kind of glued to the bottom. So, depending on what time of the day it is, those fish may be stuck to the bottom. But what you'll want to try to find is maybe one or two that you notice sitting right off of that bottom. More than likely there's going to be more fish right there at that location if you can see that. So let me go ahead and just get straight into the particular baits that I was using. And once again, guys, wanted to tell you, let me just pull this up real quick and just share my screen with you. Just bear with me. This weekend, if you guys are fishing these clear lakes and if you are in the Lake Lanier area, there is an expo. Hold on, just bear with me. Let me pull it up real quick. Just go to jimboonlanier.com. It will show you the different vendors that are going to be there. So there's going to be a lot of great information, a lot of custom products and things that will be there, guys. So make sure you come out. Jimbo's Expo is January 14th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., guys. A lot of great products, a lot of custom products that you guys will not see any other place. So you definitely want to come and check that out. All right, let me just go ahead and come back on the screen, guys. All right, so like I said, Jimbo's Expo, January 14th from 10 to 6, and it is at Forsyth Conference Center. It is at the Forsyth Conference Center. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get into the baits that I would say are going to be your high producers for this time of year, whenever those fish are. Um, I don't know. Would you guys really say they're in transition this time of year? I mean, you just kind of have to get out there and scan. The electronics are your friends. The electronics are your friends, guys. So get out there, find that bait fish. Or, like I said, in some cases, even if you don't find that bait fish, you can find those bigger fish sometimes creeping around by themselves. They may be two or three of those together, and you can target those if you want those bigger fish. But for the most part, find the bait, find the fish. I know you guys always hear that, but it is true. So let's go ahead and get straight into what I was fishing out there. The bait that you saw me catch that fish with was a drop shot, and I run that on I try to stick to around a 6'6", but I think that was a 7-foot medium Ducket Micro Magic spinning rod, and I had that on 20-pound braid. High vis yellow is what I like because I like to be able to visibly see that line whenever it's going in and out of the water. And I'll put a leader on there that is maybe 20 to 25 feet long, so that once that braid hits the water, it only goes under the water just maybe a foot or two, depending on how deep I'm fishing, of course. And then that tag line on that drop shot, you just want to adjust that depending on how high you were seeing those fish off the water column. I mean, I'm sorry, off of the bottom of the lake. So that is the drop shot, and you just kind of want to change that up. Maybe you want to try something that imitates a bait fish, a smaller worm. The bait that those fish are out there chasing, I'll show you in just a second on that spoon. It is I would say they're probably about 2 inches. They are very, very small right now, guys. So that is what they're spitting up when you're catching them. But let's go ahead and get straight into it. So one of the things that I would definitely keep on, and I did catch some fish out there. I only showed one on the clip, but I actually caught probably 3, and maybe I was just out there for a few hours. But the shaky head is one of my staples, guys. This right here is a finesse, just a zoom finesse worm. And like I said, I put that on there because I want to target something a little bit. They're targeting smaller bait, so I would stick with something maybe on the smaller end, and see if you can get results with that. The other thing, if you guys are going to be targeting more on the shallow end, throwing a crankbait. And for me, and of course, if you guys are familiar with Lake Lanier, the rock crawler is something that does get results on that lake. But I know a few of you guys have your own little special, your special secret baits out there as far as crankbaits and stuff like that go. All right, so let me just go ahead and run through these real quick, guys. We can, just make this kind of quick, and you guys can get back to it. All right, so the next thing that I would say is a spoon. So take a look at the size of the spoon that I have on there. That spoon is very small. I put that red eye on there just to add a little something different to it. But that I have it on 12-pound, and I like putting mine on fluorocarbon line. But again, for me, what I always say is you kind of have to get out there and get a feel for what works for you. But for me, I like throwing that on 12-pound fluorocarbon line. All right. The next thing that I would say is once you find those fish glued to the bottom, the thing that you will want to use is a very small swim bait. And I throw that on a 1/4 ounce head, and I stick with this. I stick to 10-pound fluorocarbon, 12-pound at the most with that. But what I will do is throw that out there and let it go all the way to the bottom, guys. So, and I will fish that extremely slow to where I can still feel that ticking the bottom. So that is the presentation that I do with that. And one more thing, guys, go ahead and take a look at the last thing. All right. What is going on with the Demiki rig? All right. If you guys are not familiar with that, with this bait right here, let me see if I can show you guys a little something. And this is just the bait that I have on here is just a Super Fluke Junior that I took and just kind of customized it myself. But if you can take a look at that, look how that bait sits up. And that I guess it's called like a jig head, a moon eye jig head that's on there, but that is specially made so that it will stay vertical like that. And if you take a look at the way that I have the tail on that Demiki rig, I kind of took this product called Mended, spliced it, and then I turned it to where it doesn't sit sideways like the Fluke normally does. It sits up like that because it has less flex in it. It doesn't move as much. So looking like that, look how much movement that has, guys. So right now, those fish are just sitting very still. So all you do is drop this down there and hold it as still as you can. And as you can see, it's going to have some action to it on its own. So there you go, guys, that Demiki rig. And this, I have this on 8-pound fluorocarbon line. You just reel set. That is pretty much how you, so you do not set this like it is a jig on 20-pound line or anything like that. Just reel set. And there you have it, guys. So that is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, my quick 5 for my Lake Lanier fishing report, guys. Hit those rocks, hit those ditches, get out there and catch those fish. And also make sure you come out January 14th to Jimbo's Expo. It will be from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Forsyth Conference Center. Go to Jimbo on Lanier.com so you can get more information about it. You don't want to miss it, guys. I'll see you there.